Good evening, and thank you, gentlemen, for reaching out. I've carefully looked at the data you sent me, and I kind of want to walk through of what each graph is showing. In both cases, the data in the graphs are correct, but the confusion comes in how both of you are interpreting the graphs. And so I'm going to take some time and kind of correct what the problems are that you both are creating. Mr. Brown, we're going to go ahead and start with your slide from the FWI. You mentioned that this graph makes it look like the FWI has almost caught up to its competitors' total subscribers, and I completely understand why you may think this. Because of the highest of this in the most recent months has almost reached the highest of its competitors, but that conclusion is not completely accurate. Here is what you need to look for. These bars represent the net new subscribers per month, not the total subscribers each company has. Each bar is just 1 month's change over time. To get to the total number of subscribers, we would have to add up all the monthly gains, and in calculus, we call this accumulated total, the integral, but in simple terms, it's just the sum of everything added over the months. FWI's bars have risen, which is great, but when we look at the current growth rate, it's now similar to the competitors, but matching the monthly growth doesn't erase all of the previous months where the competitors were still growing as the FWIs were recovering. And finally, when you look at this graph, the important thing is not the height of one bar, it's the total area amount across all of the bars where the comparison really lies. Now, Mr. Green, thank you for waiting this time. So I know you were concerned because the line showing cash availability is trending downward, and you took that to mean that the cash flow is getting worse. Now, I understand that the conclusion makes sense if it is showing the cash flow, but it is actually not. The graph is showing the cash availability, or the cash on hand, not the cash flow. Cash flow is the rate of change, or the rate at which cash is changing each month. Or in other words, it is the slope of the line, or in calculus we call this the derivative. But the important idea is simply that a steep line, as you can see here, would mean that the slope would be changing higher or lower, which, as we can see here, this line is getting shallower and shallower, not steeper and steeper, which would mean the graph is improving. Earlier in the year, you can see the line drops more deeper, but as you progress throughout the year, your line gets shallower, which is a step in the right direction. So even the cash balance is lower in January as it would be in October, the cash flow has improved because the company is reducing how much cash it's losing each month. So the conclusion is that the cash reserves have gone down, but the rate of spending is improving. So the slope of the line tells us that we are heading in a step of the right direction. So when we look at the graphs one more time, focus on the steepness rather than the direction of the lines, then the flattening of which the slope is a very important part. So we want to find the steepness of the derivative, or the slope is telling you how high or low the rate of change is going to be. So in closing, I hope this kind of clears up everything you're concerned about, and kind of gives you confidence that your company is not lying to you, and kind of showing you that you and your company is taking a step in the right direction. Thank you for your time.